All right, everyone. We are now into day number 5. This is Jessie Bowen with Elite Publications. We've been celebrating our 1-year anniversary of our Becoming Author podcast, and we have been bringing together some of the people that we've been working with over the past year, publishing their books, and it's just been such a great experience to work with people that really have a story and they really want to get that story out, and this is great. And I'm hoping that over the past week, if you've been following us, that you have become inspired to publish your own book. And everybody's got a story. You just have to be able to get it out. And today we have 3 of our authors with us, and I'm gonna, of course, they're not average, but I'm gonna use the word average because there are people that at one point had a thought about their book in their mind, but not knowing what to do about it, and they had an opportunity, and they took advantage of the opportunity. Now they're published authors, international best-selling authors. So their lives have changed, and because their books are influencing and impacting other people today. So we have, I know, 2 of our authors that are talking about their own personal life experience in sort of a memoir book. And then we have one of our other authors, Dexter, who's been having a concept about martial arts, a sport karate event. So he's taking it to the next level, and those doors are opening, and we're supporting him to opening some of those doors in the martial arts community, because a lot of my community is martial arts and martial artists. So today, we got Hanshi, DiFate, and his wife Susan here. I'm going to kick it off with you guys. So how are you guys doing, Ray and Susan?
Fine. We're doing good.
Very well. We're starting the new year off with good health, good friends, and our faith.
Well, that's a solid foundation. So, Mike, tell us a little bit about, where you guys from, what became the inspiration to start on this author's journey. And then Susan, after it was all over, it was hard for you to figure out how to find a keypad, but by the time it was over, I'm trying to offer you a job, to work for me because you did such a great job. So let's talk about, why you guys decided to publish the memoir that we've done, with Rayot, and talk a little bit about the experience from that, because memoirs are difficult books because you're sharing personal information, and it all depends on who's reading it on what side in that. So I want to just tell us where you guys located, and introduce yourselves a little bit.
All right, Susan and Rayot DiFate. We live in West Harrison, New York, and I'm looking at the face of the person who planted the seed for us to undertake this amazing experience in creating my husband's memoirs. So first of all, I'd like to say thank you, Jessie.
Thank you very much, Jessie.
And I'd also like to thank Jessica, who bailed me out on so many occasions with my very scant knowledge of technology. So Jessica, thank you. I mean, you were with us all the way. And I just have to say that the support that we received from you at Elite Publications allowed us to complete this enormous task. Because in the beginning, when we started out, it just seemed like an enormous, unbelievable task. Writing about memoirs is difficult enough.
And very personal too.
Yes. And I think for Rayot and I, being that I was doing the writing and he was doing the talking and giving me the input and the feedback. It's very difficult to write a memoir when you've walked in that person's steps and you've been with that person. Ray and I are married 50 years, and his memoirs went back to when he was a young child. And I happened to be growing up in the same environment, in the same physical location as he was with my family, so that there were a lot of things I knew about him. But then there were a lot of things I didn't know about him, even while we were writing the book. And as we were writing the book and I was note-taking, there were some emotional times where he would say to me, I felt this way during that difficult time, or I felt that way. And I realized that over the years, he spared me. I am a nurse, but even as a nurse and as his wife, he was trying over the years to spare me from the hurt that he was feeling from, you know, all of the difficult times that he went through. So it was a difficult course to get through the book, to write, to have you, Jessie, help us streamline it and keep it appropriate for the reader. And I just have to say, it was an amazing experience. And once the book was over and done with, the first people that we shared it with was our own children. And they were either not born or they were babies when Ray went through all of his difficulties while growing older, on having been injured as a police officer, having gone on through the years, needing many surgeries. However, his passion for the martial arts and his dedication and devotion to keep the martial arts as his lifeline, really, that's what took him through his difficult stages in life. And that was really something, besides the fact that we have a very strong faith in God and our religion is very important to us. It was God and the martial arts that got us through these difficult years. And in the end, when the book was published and we did the book signing in Vegas, it was a tremendous life experience. It's something that I would encourage every person to do as a legacy to themselves. We didn't do this for anyone in particular, maybe except for our children and grandchildren, but to create a legacy and to let others know how you walked your path in life is truly inspirational, and it's a wonderful thing. We have the Bible and we know how Jesus got through. So I'm sure each and every person has the opportunity to walk that walk and to end up being very proud and honored that they accomplished that.
Well, you know, that is totally amazing. You're about to make me tear up over here.
Oh, stop.
I mean, but seriously, I mean, your passion that you talk about the experience. So, but just think about how long that information had been bottled up in Ray, in Hanshi. And that's another testimony. We're dealing so much with mental health. I mean, that's what we call it now, mental health, those things that are within us that we cannot get out, and they just grow their own ways. And we, I like to use the word, which just doesn't sound good. I might need to change it. Regurgitate in our mind over and over again. And we get that same taste and feeling every day. So it not only does it psychologically drain us, but it's also emotionally drain us. Now, Hanshi,
Yep.
now for everyone, if you're listening to us today and You say, we just called him Hanshi. I thought his name was Rayot. Well, Hanshi means, is the Grand Master. So, he's a 10th degree black belt in the martial arts, a very respected martial artist. So I'm gonna let him talk a little bit about that, because you're what, 80? Am I correct on that?
81.
81. I mean, you know what? I am looking forward to 81. I am looking forward to it, So as soon as I'm going to tell my wife, she's going to have to be nice to me, because I know it's your niceness that's preserving him, right? But tell us, Hanshi, tell us, you've done this and you've gone back and faced some of your own demons of things in the past, and to talk about the martial arts strength that's given you to, push this, all pain aside. I know you've had surgeries and done all these things. And I think your book is a testimony to individuals of why you should get into martial arts for that byproduct benefit of being a martial artist. So why don't you share a little bit, with us?
Okay. What I would like to say is, my son and daughter both got the book. My son had to read the book first. And there was a lot of things saying with my daughter, they never knew about me, and they never knew about Susan, my wife, because they either weren't born or they were very young when things were happening. And we just never told them. They would come to visit me in the hospital. I spent like 2 years in and out of hospital. But then my son said, after he read the book, he set his 2 sons down, and they went page by page. So the kids, and put it in a language that, one's 10 and the other one's 13, in a language they could understand, because they're our grandchildren. They really don't know personal things about us. And same with my daughter. And my daughter made her 3 children read the book. They're now 16. They're triplets. So each one got to read the book and interpret it their way at that age. The other thing, if it wasn't for Susan spending all that time writing down chapters, moving around through the military, police, even when I was young, living home with my father and mother. If it wasn't for Susan spending all that time, and then, we sent chapters to you, you would pick or delete and say, maybe you change this and that. I don't think the book would have gotten done. And once all the chapters were completed, it seemed like everything else just fell into place with Elite Publications. And after, you did, everything was just, it's over, done with, and we went on with our lives. It's done. I haven't read the book, but I lived it. When you spend 6 months going, sitting home and doing chapters and stuff, I don't think I have to read the book, because we would go back to chapters and change things, and we went back a lot of years, a lot of years. Weren't good years. And even when I was on the police department, once I was injured, but wasn't, I think when I got injured, my son was 3 months old. And then a year or 2 later, my daughter came. But they used to come and visit me in the hospital. They actually thought I lived in the hospital. But, they forget about things like that, but the book brings things out. But if it wasn't for Susan and you and Jessica, I don't think it would ever happen.
And your strength from the martial arts.
That I never realized, even after operations. Like, I have 30 stitches in my back down at melanoma. I went to the dojo Monday, Wednesday, Thursday and went to the basement where I trained 3 days a week. I got 30 stitches in my back. So what? I just go on and do what I got to do. You know, I think it's like therapy, but I never thought about it that way. It probably is that way. And if it wasn't for martial arts, I guess.
It's like an appendage for you. It's like your hands, your feet, your martial arts is another appendage of you that gives you the strength and the courage and the grit to get through whatever you have to get through. And I think that's true of every martial artist that Ray and I personally know, and we know
a
so
lot
many.
of people. You saw that at Alan Goldberg's.
And there has to be a story for every martial artist out there about how they overcome obstacles with faith and their love of the martial arts.
Well, that's really, really key. And I think it's, and of course, the martial arts is about foundation. It's really not the martial arts. It's actually your teaching and upbringing, and then it becomes the martial arts. Because without that, Ray, you're Hanshi, you've got black belts. They look up to you. You're in a very tough. You're what, Kelsha Shinkai? What style of martial arts do you train in?
Dokushinkai. I spent 55 years with Chiguro Oyama, and he passed away maybe 6-7 years ago. Yeah.
Well, again, that's why I said a very respected teacher, a very respected system, and that mental and physical toughness. Well, I appreciate you guys. So we're going to take going over to Navon, and of course, they have a great book that's come out. And I think the captain is not with us here today, but she's one of those people, again, one of those great wives that's been right there with her husband, and again, she's turned into be quite the spokesperson. So it's always, hey, ma'am, how you doing?
Good.
Hi,
Jessie.
Jessie. Hi, how are you?
Okay, Kevin, he's there?
Yes,
Okay, I
here.
didn't realize
Yes, he just got here.
Yeah, I
Okay, man, you just in time. This is, hey, look, this is a week of love, and I have you great couples on. So, hey, this is the last show, so this is perfect for us. But you guys are real people. I mean, you are people with a story and the courage to be able to write it. So, Kevin, I know that you have quite a story, quite a book out there, and international best-selling book, #1 international bestseller. You're also an Amazon bestseller. So I'm gonna let you guys introduce and sort of give us the background and talk a little bit about your decision to publish the book, and talk about that journey that you guys were on in getting your book published.
Okay. Hello, everyone. Again, my name is Niwan, and this is Captain Sounthone Ratankone, or Kevin. So this is our proud piece, proudly presented. This is Till the Last book, and this is a captain on the back. So this book here, Kevin carried with him everywhere he go.
Yep.
And it took him over 45 years in order to come out as a book. It took us a long, long journey, and we didn't even think, this is unthinkable, and it's just a dream that someday, he would be able to tell the kid, the young generation. So we came from Laos, which located in the Southeast Asia, above Thailand, and alongside Burma, Vietnam, North Vietnam, South Vietnam, in that area. Many people didn't even know, where is Laos at if they don't look at the map. So Captain was brought up in the pretty good family, and he was in the service, and all of those trauma that he has, during those time, during the secret war in Laos, or we known as the Vietnam War. So everybody, over here, known as the Vietnam War, but they don't even think that there was a war in Laos. So that when they have a lot of refugee came over here, then they know just only people from Vietnam. So they don't know where these people from Laos. So with all of those things happen, the traumatizing during the war is so much. And, many of, people who was in the situation as he was, survive, but they are the new generation, the young kid is really hard, very difficult for the parent to explain to the kid, to tell the story. And with the traumatizing himself, like Jessie said, the mental or the PTSD, that preventing them to, explain, to the kid or other people. And he was talking so much, telling so much. And then one day he was thinking, if I don't tell this one, if I don't put it down in writing, actually he's starting writing it down by himself, on his language on the paper, and is making up the book like this. And he said, what am I gonna do with this? How do other people gonna know? So how do the kid gonna know? Because, this is just only his own tongue, his own native language. And the young kid speaking English, reading in English, and other people, he want to tell the world. So where he come from, so other country or other people don't fall into the same situation. Like what happened to Ukraine right now.
Yeah.
And he went through the whole, nightmare. And then people who were in his situation, after we published the book, we got the good team. We have our brother-in-law and sister, and who really good at the writing, Craig Curtis and Tana. And we have our writer Todd Simmers. So we put all of this together, and it's our proud piece so he can share with everybody. Now he's go to people. He went to the veteran people, and he said, yes, I did went through the whole, nightmare that we all went through. And this is it. This is my book. This is my life story. So that's all he can say. And then he been getting call from the veteran people, to get the book, to see the book, and they're buying the book. And also with all of this good thing came out with the Elite publication helping us through, and with our talking Facebook, and we publish it on the Facebook. Me and Susan, we are the same thing. I'm not good at the new technology. Kevin is difficult enough for him to using the iPhone. We are not good at all. So, but with help with Jessie and team, and we were able to posting up on our Facebook, and we fortunately have a couple of friends who doing the Facebook, the YouTube. So they call us, and we were on the YouTube a couple of times. So we telling the story. He found the people who was under his commander during that Vietnam War, during that secret war. And many of them, back then he's kind of a skinny guy, small. And then now because of the age, he's, getting bigger. But the way he talked, the way he probably have a little bit shape like when he was young. So people call and said, is that Captain Sounthone? Many of them call, that's my captain, that's my captain. The young kid who was watching the YouTube and telling the older father, saying that, Dad, this person is from Laos. Were you with him at the time? And then the father take a look and he said, that's my captain, that's my captain. So he met several people who were in the concentration camp. And then they thought that he's already gone, he's dead, because the other party, I just want to keep as the other party. The other party is, telling everybody who were in the concentration camp, saying that the guy who, broke out the concentration camp and killing the enemy, 27 enemy. And who knows how many he killed at that time. They said that the guy who killing 27, of our guard man now died. We torture him and we kill him already. And everybody, the rest of them who stay behind, thought that he's already gone. They killed him already. He met the other survivor at the one of the funeral. And then they said, "Are you the captain?" So they met several of them there, and they talked about the whole story and find out that he saved about 125 the people who were in the same camp during that time, the breakout. So he helped them a lot. We have another, that party, they try to come in, sabotage us, and try to disclaim the book. They said that this is not real, this is a fake. But we know that they never want him to come out and tell the story. So he's not stopped just because of that. Now we have a couple people who want to translate this in French. And then we have people talking about want to make this book to be a movie. So we are in the process of that. We are waiting to see that gonna happen. But he's not stopped talking. So he's working on his PTSD. He tell the world, I'm not dead. I'm helping, I'm saving people with his martial art knowledge, with his willingness, love his country, love his people. He's a good man. And he's stand on his toe and then carry this book with him everywhere. This is his weapon to tell the whole world. Thank
Wow.
you, Jessie and the team.
All right, thank you so much, everybody.
Oh, Kevin. Well, man, now you guys trying to see, will I cry during this week, right? This is my last show. Wow. But when you hear this, I am so blessed to have the opportunity to know you guys, and have an opportunity to share that. And as you guys are saying, that this is trapped inside of you. And, the best way to get this from here and to feel better is to write, to talk to someone, to journal, to be able to write, to be able to get it out of your head. And these are stories. So for our viewers and listeners, so when you are, when you have something locked up in you, it can be valuable. And, for Kevin, if he hasn't, now we're looking at people want to turn this into a movie, it's getting ready to turn into an audible book, yes, about that. And as she was saying is that, a lot of people didn't want this story told. I was personally called and threatened, I was personally called and threatened and told how much lies it was. And then when I didn't move off of that, then they threatened, they wanted to challenge me. I'm going, in fact, they wanted to challenge Kevin and I both together. I'm going like, oh, wow, I'm all up for this. Let me stop by New York and pick up Ray.
They did even spread the word out to the community saying that this is not a real person and he just make this up. This is a fake story. And, the story is not real. And then during that time, somebody had the book. And then they went online to check on the website. And then his picture come up and the other guy were talking. He didn't know that this is the Captain Sounthone. He said, Captain Sounthone, it sounds like my captain. I want to see if I see the picture and I know who he was. And I know, he's a real person or not. Sure enough, when they see that picture, they said, that's him. That's a real person. So if we just shut up, that's a real person. Then that's how he got a phone call from everybody throughout the United States to confirm that this is the real person and the real story. So Jessie, don't worry about that one day. I'm
not worried. I'm good. You
So
know,
he's not
you
gonna
know,
stop, okay?
yeah. But this is what we're talking about, everyone. I mean, just think about it. This book had not been written. The opportunities of that's being presented now, and the people that are drawn back into Kevin's world that thought he was already dead. You know, this is real. Memoirs are those real things that happen into your life, and it's not about anyone else. It's about you releasing. It's not about whether or not the book's going to make money. As with Ray and Susan, you know, their kids having a chance to read these stories. What makes Ancestry such a large website and platform is because people want to know about their past. They want to know who their family members were. They want to know about their past, and they go there, and you know, they've got DNA testing and all these things because they're trying to get information. And what you guys are doing, you know, for your children, for your community through your memoirs, you are giving them what they need to have. Ray, your kids are able to now talk to their children, and then their children are going to be able to talk to their children. And when you publish, these books are here forever till you decide to take them down. But this is a generational book. These are legacy books which share, you know, your story. And again, you know, it's such a, you know, great that, you know, you guys entrusted us with these, you know, valuable stories that for us to be able to publish, to be able to get it out, to be able to market, to be able to bring them to international bestsellers. And, you know, that is I mean, I look at that as a high tribute to you guys, you know, for doing that. And you know, Devon and Kevin, you guys are a great couple. You know, Ray and Sue, you know, you guys are great. You guys are just great people. I mean, that is the foundation of who you are. And I think that, you know, we all have stuff that happens in our life, but those things that happened to us when we were younger does not define who we will become. So sometimes you find the tougher life was, the better we are, because there's so many valuable lessons that we gain from that, and being able to put that into a book is a message. No matter captain in prison, and we all, you know somewhat about, you know, Vietnam War, but there's all the stories that people that lived it, that were there, just like Ukraine and all these other places that's going through a war right now, of all the, you know, the psychological damage that happens from those conflicts, but you're able to put that in words. So we really do appreciate you guys. And we're gonna go on to Dexter. And hey Dexter, how you doing?
I'm doing great, man. How you doing?
Man, these are powerful stories, Dexter.
Yes, they are. Man, I'm trying to figure out how I got on this podcast.
Well, you know, you're a military guy, and you know, we have another client we're producing a military book on, but that book is on Taekwondo and about Taekwondo as a sport in the military. So it's a whole book recording the history of Taekwondo as a military sport. So that's going to be coming out in the next few weeks. So that's pretty exciting. But, you know, let's tell us a little bit, you know, Dexter, talk about you a little bit. Where are you located? Tell us about your book and the journey in which you've been on for the publishing and republishing of your book, and what your goals are.
Wow, how did I get started? Well, first of all, right now I'm in Las Vegas, Nevada. I live in Columbia, South Carolina. Every 3 weeks I'm back and forth between the two locations. My fiance lives here. I'm one of those folks that when he was a little kid, he dreamed of playing in the NFL. He wanted to be a football player. And tore the cartilage in my knee, and I guess you can say I graduated to martial arts. Found Mike Geneva on Rosewood Drive in Columbia at his martial arts studio. I got my black belt in 1986, opened my first school in Harlingen, Texas. And then for a long time, just competed in martial arts. And then I want to say 2003, went to Dewey Irwood's tournament. And I noticed after a long layoff from martial arts, pretty much everything was the same, competition point-wise, things such as that. I was like, wow, wouldn't it be nice if there were team martial arts like the NFL, like Major League Baseball, like NBA, franchise teams that could be willed to families, like they do in the NFL. So I came up with this concept in the book I published, is taking on the NFL by way of pro teams, Kumitesport. Now, through Elite Publications, this is kind of like the fourth reboot of the book. And I've gotten some progress along this path by becoming an international bestseller on Amazon. So I'm getting a lot more looks, a lot more interviews, a lot more interest now. Back in 2003, I hired about 10 people, and we tried to create 11 teams across the southeastern United States. And we learned a lot through that, but it never ended up really taking off. And I think it didn't take off because of the lack of marketing. You need marketing dollars to market something like that. But we even got on the franchise registry with the SBA, Small Business Administration. So somebody wanted to own a professional team, a martial arts team, a pro team, they could go through the SBA and just walk into any SBA across the United States and say, hey, I want to own one of those teams, and get 85% backed by the Small Business Administration. So my book is basically about taking the current landscape of martial arts and having like platinum level tournaments. And as one component or one category at that tournament, it would be to the 18 plus year old black belts that win in that division for their weight class. They would be the team to represent that city state in a national championship like the Super Bowl, but for martial arts. So that's the concept in my book. It's pretty detailed, has contracts, lays out the rules, different locations where that make perfect sense to have teams because of the martial arts landscape of that time period. So things may have changed a little bit now on where it best makes sense to have a team like California. California might have three professional teams because how big it is. New York might have pretty much the 2 to 3 as well because of how large those states are. But since I've been with Elite Publications and the book has been published, I've gotten a lot more interest, as I stated, and things are looking better. Still haven't gotten any takers yet. I've been on Facebook, LinkedIn. I'm getting a lot of feedback on LinkedIn. I think I need a little bit more visibility into the current point martial arts, because this is something the young kids may aspire, but just imagine an infrastructure that is needed to support something of that magnitude, because we're talking about a national level league that could be as many, probably the best way to look at it would be like, just think of, oh yeah, Olympics. We have weight classes for boxing in Olympics, right? So it would be like United States against Russia, but or United States boxing team against Cuba when Muhammad Ali was boxing for Cuba. I mean, for the United States against Telio Stevenson for Cuba, and he took the gold. So those people that take the gold for those tournaments and platinum level tournaments would actually be the team that represents that city state in a national championship. So things are moving, but not as fast as I thought, but they're still moving, better traction than before.
Wow.
So I'm positive.
When what happens, you find sometimes you can be And that's you can be in front of the wheel and the wheel has to catch up,
Oh, yeah.
so your concepts and ideas are really great. And I think that, is being there. I know for myself, my first 15 books I published, they didn't, as a book sale, make a lot of money because I didn't know how to market. And we weren't at the place where we are now of, marketing, Facebook and all those things. That wasn't around. You had paid advertisement, you put it in a magazine, you're very limited. I use my books, primarily for my seminars. I wrote books that was introduced to the curriculum at Duke University. But sometimes you're there, and I feel really confident that your door is about to open.
Oh, well, thank you.
Because we're at that place in which the mindset is changing. There are new kids on the block
Right.
that can see your vision. And a lot of the people that, in my generation, Ray's generation, the captain's generation, they don't see the picture. So again, your idea and concept is so far out there that, people haven't caught up to you.
Right.
So what you have
Understood.
in those cases, you have to do, you have to prepare for when they catch up. So you build it, it's like a Noah and the ark, you got to build it. It's not a cloudy day and it's not raining, but you got a message that you're supposed to build it. And so, so that's sort of like you've got a message and you have built it. And so it's not a cloudy day, but your rain, sunshine, it will be coming to you. You did. That's the whole thing about, and your book is a little bit different because, these guys have written memoirs about their life, and you are constructing something that's not a reality, and you're trying to bring that sense of reality. Right now is a great time because the Super Bowl is over and, my team won. I don't know, hey, so,
Yes,
right?
that's right.
Those guys
My
up in
team
here
won.
going, boo, but that's what I'm saying. This is that great time because everybody's thinking football. So this is that good time, that you go back out there and you present it because the word football is now in their mind. The Super
Right.
Bowl just happened. So now when you talk about your program and it's, like a football league, people that's in their mind and they're sad or happy, but they can, so your perception of it can be a little bit stronger. But this is sort of what we're talking about. I write biography books and tell the stories of people's lives in my biography books. We write compilations and anthologies of grouping people together to share a particular story and a particular message. So, we really do thank you, number one, for coming on and helping us celebrate our 1-year anniversary, but giving the world, our communities, a chance to see that you guys are real people. I mean, you're not, you don't have to be the big league writer over here to become successful when you have a team. When you have a team of people that they have the capabilities and the resources to take what you're doing and to capitalize on that and turn an idea into a reality. And Susan, you guys were talking about receiving the first copy of the book. Kevin walks around all day long carrying his book with him. I mean, that's powerful. I mean, it doesn't get any powerful than that you treasure. And it's about your book. It's not about anybody else that buys your book. It is about, number one, if our objective is that our stories will impact and make a difference in lives, then we want to get the book in the hands of those people. But the personal feeling for you, this is your book. This is your book. Other people may celebrate your book. They may read it and become inspired and not be ashamed of your past. Your past is your past. You didn't have any control over that.
True.
You didn't have any control of where you were born, who you were born to, none of those things. The location, the landscape you were born in. But it's okay because it's only the beginning. It's where you guys are now. For both of you guys as couples, where you are as a couple. My big census is February, celebrating love and Valentine. When I look at you guys, Susan and Kevin and Navon and Ray, then there's something powerful that someone will support you in it. So we need to write a book on love and support and get you guys to have a chapter on it. I'm trying to push another book here, but okay. Any last words, Susan? Any last words from you and Ray?
I think just words of gratitude, as was mentioned, to you, Jessie, and to your wonderful team in helping us all accomplish this amazing goal of having a book reflecting our walk in life or walks in life. And it was very nice meeting everyone else on this podcast today. And I wish everyone a happy new year and much success in your own journeys and in your own books. Thank you.
Thank you.
Susan, I wish we could just, capture you and put you into a little bottle and just go out and take out palm leaves and sprinkle people. You're just that great of a person, and we love you and we truly do appreciate you. You and Ray both, you guys are just a perfect role model for relationships. So thank you. Kevin, Devon, anything you guys want to share? Any last words?
I want to say it now. The book is telling everyone, including his grandchildren. Now he is just starting school, learn how to read, and he got grandpa book and life story, the whole thing. So he know where grandpa come from, what happened to grandpa family, grandpa, great grandpa, and then the rest of the family. So he reading the book to his younger sister. So his kid, will be continue reading the book, and so the story tell, and he is happy to have all of this come out. The most important thing is all the memory and all of those experience, good or bad, is in one place. It's not in his head anymore. Mm-hmm. So thank you, everyone who we meet today, Ray and Susan. Yes. And wishing you all the good year and best of luck in every way you do with good health.
Thank you.
And for all of us, and Jessie also.
Yes.
So great to meet you all.
Thank you.
We really appreciate you guys. And everyone, remember, go online to Amazon and you can buy their book. You can go to their website. I think it's tildalast.com. I think that's what it is up there. And I know we have it in our chat. And then we got Hanshi Rayot DiFate, and that is the website. HanshiDiFate.com is his website. And so Dexter, any last words from you?
Yes, I want to thank you for the invite to be part of this podcast. And then also the nice stories that I heard today. I want to applaud those because I too, like, you see me keep wiping my eyes because of the stories here, especially the gentleman in the upper right corner and his the war that went on in Laos. I'm familiar with Cambodia and Vietnam, but you're right. I didn't know that much about Laos. And I want to make a plug for my website, dextervkennedy.com, where I've got a couple of videos to where it will tie. The National Football League, they were a nonprofit when they first initially started. And they had a membership fee. that, and they had a cause. They supported a cause here in America to support their communities, to help the problems and things they had in the communities. So what I wanted to do with the National Martial Arts League was similar to the crime we have in America. So there's a couple of videos in the Help Save America campaign, which is SAVE is an acronym for Stand Up Against Violence Everyone and Save America campaign. So thank you for the invite. And it was a pleasure listening to your stories and being on this podcast with each and every one of you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And everyone, if you want to follow us, you can go to our website is becomeanauthorpodcast.com. That's becomeanauthorpodcast.com. You can check out all of our podcasts. If you have a story and you want to get your story out, Elite Publications would love to be a part of your success plan and helping you get your story out. Now, we have a great team, a very an international team, experts in graphics and editing and marketing. You know, we are your easy button to make things happen. You can go to our website, and that is elitepublications.org, or you can email us at info@elitepublications.org, or you can text 919-618-8075 just to set up a free time to talk about the story that you're thinking about. Now let's talk about it and see whether or not that story. Now, we know our marketplace, we know our readers, we know what they're looking for. You know, you may have a story, but it may not be clicking the way you have it. Then we can help you to massage that story so the reader can really appreciate what you're actually saying. You know, so if you got a story, you know, you just have to get it out and taking those steps. And one of your first steps and your easy button is contacting Elite Publications. Everyone, this is Jessie Bowen, president of Elite Publications and the Becoming Author podcast. So, hey, be blessed. And remember, go to Amazon, go to our websites, check out the books. You gotta read these life stories. Remember, Dexter is looking for teams that want to be a part of his, NFL sport karate team. So remember, check him out. Be blessed.